Hi, I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Welcome to AccessTV.org. My name is Desharia Gator with rJo Winch. All politics is local.
Well, welcome to another segment of All Politics is Local. I'm just letting y'all get a heads up. That's going to be my replacement in about 15. So that way y'all kind of get accustomed to seeing that face. That's my little mini-me, born on my birthday, continuous labor. But anyway, we have some exciting things to talk about this afternoon. I want to make sure that all of you know that after 9 months of hard labor, SEIU Local 2001 Child Care Providers Union have finally signed off a contract with the state of Connecticut. And what does that mean to you? What that means to you is that if you have children who go to a child care facility that's in a person's home and they let you pay using a child care Care for Kids system, where Care for Kids pay the portion and you pay the rest, that means your child care provider is going to be actually a member of the union so that they can more benefit you and what you will have. So let me just give you a little heads up about what are some of the things that we negotiated for. We had a whole bargaining team, and like I said, we met for over 9 months, and finally last Thursday at 11:04 p.m., we finally signed the last issue of the contract. Some of those things are going to be talking about states' rights. So that means some of the rights that you think that you don't have now, you're going to find out what those are. We also signed on to rates, which means that if you are a child care provider doing a family child care and you get Care for Kids to help your parents assist with the payments, that you are going to get a 3% increase over the next 4 years. So at the end of the contract, you will have received 12% increase in what the Care for Kids portion has paid you when our career field, we'll call it, has not been given an increase since the 80s. So we all know what that's like because we're the ones making the meals, taking care of the kids, doing all these things on a shoestring budget. Another thing that you're going to have as a member of the union, a grievance procedure. So let's say, for instance, you and Care for Kids have a disagreement on if your child is full-time plus, full-time, part-time, or many of us are well aware of those 20 hours that they ask us to tell parents to pay for before they kick in their half. This mostly affects us when? During the vacation times, right? When we have those schoolers, those school-aged children during the day, because now there's no school. So that's a big one right there for me. I hope it's a big one for you. The other thing that you're going to talk about is consumer rights. You know, the rights of the parent to be able to put their applications in with you. You fax them over to Care for Kids, and in a reasonable amount of time, get those parents on the Care for Kids if they qualify. Another thing that we're going to talk about is professional development. Many of us want to do professional development in our field of child development. They're going to be offering child development where the union is going to pay in portions of that as it relates to this contract. All right? So we'll work all the details out with you as time goes on. The other thing is that we're going to talk a little bit about the duration of the contract. Remember, I told you that it was for 4 years. So once we lock into this contract, we have it for 4 years. So it's not going to go anywhere. Also, we're going to be asking them to ensure that we continue to have a child care provider who have a position in the cabinet. So you know that the governor set up the early child care department. So we want to make sure that a child care provider is a part of that cabinet so that we can keep current on the issues and things that come up that are affecting us. Another thing that we talked about is that when you are a child care provider, remember now you have to be an in-home child care provider. When you go to the meetings that are going to be going on around the state of Connecticut, I'm going to tell you where they are going to, what dates they're going to be happening in your city, in your town, in Connecticut in a minute. You are going to receive a $40 sign-in bonus if you are a unlicensed child care provider, like you're doing relative care, or you go to a child's home to take care of the child rather than the child coming to you. If you are a licensed provider, like myself, where all the children come to your home, then you're going to be receiving $80 for signing of that same contract. All right. And we have not been able to get them to narrow down what non-standard hours are. But that's something that we'll work on a little bit later on the contract. But more and more importantly to all of us is that we make sure, very sure, that we understand that one, yes, you do have a union. Two, yes, you do need to become a member in order to vote for all the work that we've done to get this contract to take effect. So if you decide that you don't need any services from Care for Kids, that everything is going wonderful in your home, with your kids, then you know what? Don't sign up. But if you're like me, and from time to time things come up that you need other people's assistance, then you definitely want to make sure that when we come a calling in your city, in your town, to meet with us, to unite, to make sure that we can ratify the contract that we took 9 months to bring forth to you, then we want to make sure that you're counted in those numbers. Now, they have the dates, and then this must happen in January. The reason why January 2014 is so important is because the state legislature is going to be back in session February and March, and we want this number one on their agenda so that we can begin to get these increases right away. All right? So if you live in Willimantic on the 13th of January, which is on a Monday, the union is going to be notifying you to meet at a location. So all the locations to be determined, but they will be in your town where you are. If you live in Danbury on the 20th, these are the Monday dates. So on Mondays, the 13th and the 20th, the 13th will be in Willimantic. The 20th, which is on a Monday, will be in Danbury. And on a Tuesday, if you live in Enfield, it's the 7th. In Middletown, the 14th, New London, the 21st, and Torrington on the 28th. Wednesday is going to be reserved for, a meetings, for an assistance. Like if you need something special, they will give you a number to call into for a union representative to assist you with those things. Thursdays will be the 9th in Stanford. Hold on just 1 minute. The 16th in Meriden, the 23rd in New Britain, and the 30th in East Hartford, which also includes Vernon and Manchester. So remember, in East Hartford, when the meeting is for SEIU Local 2001 Child Care Providers Union, it will be in East Hartford on the 30th of January, which will include those of you who live in Vernon and Manchester. Now in Hartford, I'm going to be contacting you more than once. More than once. Our meeting is going to be on the 11th of January. We're going to try to do 2 meetings in Hartford, one in the South End, one in the North End, because we in the city of Hartford have over 800 in-home child care providers, all by ourselves. So we're going to try to get 400 of you in one place and 400 in the other. So make sure that you look out for around the date of January the 11th, 2014, when your child care union comes a calling. We want to have a celebration and a meeting with you to make sure that you can receive your money in the bank. All right? These are Saturday dates. The 11th in Hartford, the 18th in Bridgeport, the 25th in New Haven. And then on January the 1st, will be in Waterbury. So I don't know why that date is way over there on the end, but that's where it is. Okay, so we're going to start with Waterbury on January the 1st. Be looking out. In Hartford, we're going to have 2 locations on January the 11th. So we'll have a morning session in the afternoon session, or maybe we'll do north and south simultaneously, at the same time in 2 separate locations. But whatever it is, we want to make sure that you are present, make sure that you are signing up to be a union member, because it only can benefit you. 100% benefit you, the child care provider, and the services that you want to provide to the children who you keep in your home. And remember, economic development is on the table. Assistance is on the table. For those of you who want to get your CDA, that's on the table. So the sky's the limit. So we want to make sure that you know all about the work that we have done to benefit all child care providers and the children that we service. Because remember, as a child care provider, education, discipline, structure begins in your home. Right? So that's major, major important, because you have America's resource, greatest resource right there at your fingertips, Monday through Friday. Some of us Saturday and Sunday. So if you're those non-traditional hours child care provider, you have children also after 5 o'clock and also on Saturdays and Sundays, because our parents work around the clock. So yes, this is All Politics is Local with your host, rJo Winch. Yes, we are right here on Channel 8 on accesstv.org, where we know everybody watches accesstv.org, and we want to make sure that you rewind and rewind and rewind until you are very clear on the information. So one of the reasons that the World Wide Web is so wonderful, if you missed something, you can go back to it. If you didn't get it the first time, you can just rewind it and play it again until you get it. But one of the things that we want to make sure that you 100% show up at the meeting for SEIU Local 2001 Child Care Provider Meeting. And remember, you heard it first here on accesstv.org.